Imagine a world without instant information, without the endless scroll of social media, without cat videos, or the convenience of online shopping. A world where communication across continents meant days or even weeks, and a library was your sole portal to global knowledge. This wasn't some distant dystopian past. It was reality for most of humanity just a few short decades ago, before a revolutionary idea took hold and fundamentally reshaped our existence. The internet, a technology we now take for granted, has woven itself so deeply into the fabric of modern society that it's almost impossible to conceive of life without it. But how did this ubiquitous network begin? What were its humble origins? Prepare to uncover the surprising, often accidental, and utterly transformative origin story of a technology that truly changed everything. Our journey begins in the tumultuous era of the Cold War, a period defined by geopolitical tension and an urgent need for robust, resilient communication systems. In this climate, the United States Department of Defense, specifically its Advanced Research Projects Agency, or ARPA, conceived of a groundbreaking project. They envisioned a network that could withstand a nuclear attack, ensuring that vital information could still flow even if parts of the system were destroyed. This ambitious concept led to the birth of ARPANET, the direct ancestor of the internet we know today. Key figures like J.C.R. Licklider, who articulated the vision of an intergalactic network, and Robert Taylor, who spearheaded the project at ARPA, were instrumental. However, it was the brilliant minds at Bolt, Beranek, and Newman, or BBN, who were contracted to build the actual network. On October 29, 1969, a momentous event occurred. Graduate student Charlie Klein, working at UCLA, attempted to send a message to Bill Duvall at the Stanford Research Institute. The intended message was, "Login." However, the system crashed after only 2 letters. The first message ever transmitted across ARPANET, therefore, was the simple, yet profoundly incomplete, "Hello." A fascinating, almost poetic beginning for a technology that would eventually connect billions. This early success was built upon the revolutionary concept of packet switching, championed by visionaries like Paul Baran and Donald Davies. Unlike traditional circuit switching, which dedicates a continuous line for communication, packet switching breaks data into small, independent packets that can travel along different routes and reassemble at their destination. This made the network incredibly fault-tolerant and efficient, laying the indispensable groundwork for all future internet communication. As ARPANET grew, connecting more university and research institutions, an unexpected killer app emerged: electronic mail. While the primary goal was resource sharing and remote computing, email quickly became the most popular application, allowing researchers to collaborate and communicate with unprecedented speed. This early adoption highlighted the internet's potential for personal and professional connection. Crucially, the development of Transmission Control Protocol Internet Protocol, or TCP/IP, in the 1970s by Vinton Cerf and Robert Kahn provided the foundational language for network communication. This suite of protocols allowed disparate networks to talk to each other, creating a true internet, an interconnected network of networks. The expansion beyond military and academic circles began with the National Science Foundation Network, or NSFNet, in the mid-1980s. Initially established to connect research supercomputing centers, NSFNet's relaxed acceptable use policies allowed for broader academic and eventually commercial traffic, effectively democratizing access. This period also saw the birth of domain names, replacing clunky numerical IP addresses with more memorable names like .com and .org, simplifying navigation for early users. While still a far cry from today's sleek interfaces, this early clunky internet experience, predominantly text-based and requiring a certain level of technical savvy, was nevertheless a marvel, hinting at the boundless possibilities yet to unfold. The stage was set for the next dramatic leap, the World Wide Web. The stage was set for the next dramatic leap, the World Wide Web. While ARPANET and the early internet connected computers, accessing information was still a fragmented, often cumbersome process, requiring users to know specific commands or file paths. Imagine a vast library where every book was in a different building, and you needed a special key just to get into each one. This was the challenge facing Tim Berners-Lee, a brilliant computer scientist at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, in the late 1980s. He envisioned a system where information could be universally linked and easily accessible, regardless of where it resided. Berners-Lee's solution was revolutionary in its simplicity and elegance. He created three fundamental technologies that would become the cornerstone of the World Wide Web: HTML for structuring web pages, HTTP for transmitting data across the network, and URLs for uniquely identifying resources. Together, these elements allowed for the creation of interconnected documents, a web of information that could be navigated with ease. In 1991, he launched the very first website, a humble page explaining the project itself. Its purpose was straightforward: to facilitate information sharing among researchers. But its true power lay in the concept of hyperlinking, enabling users to jump from one piece of information to another with a single click, creating an intuitive, non-linear browsing experience that fundamentally changed how we interact with digital content. No longer was information locked away. It was fluid, connected, and endlessly explorable. Initially, the web remained largely within academic and scientific circles. However, its potential for broader adoption hinged on making it user-friendly for the general public. This is where the browser wars began. In 1993, the release of Mosaic, the first graphical web browser developed at the National Center for Supercomputing Applications, was a game-changer. It transformed the text-heavy internet into something visually appealing and easy to navigate with a mouse. Suddenly, the web wasn't just for scientists. It was for everyone. Mosaic's developers soon formed Netscape Communications and released Netscape Navigator in 1994, which quickly dominated the market, bringing millions online. Microsoft, initially slow to recognize the web's potential, soon entered the fray with Internet Explorer, bundling it with its ubiquitous Windows operating system. This sparked an intense competition that ultimately shaped the early commercial Internet, pushing rapid innovation in browser technology and features. The shift from text-based interfaces to graphical user interfaces was paramount. It democratized access, making the Internet approachable for those without technical expertise. Concurrently, companies like America Online played a crucial role in bringing the Internet to the masses. With user-friendly interfaces, dial-up modems, and aggressive marketing, the AOL effect introduced millions of households to the wonders of email, chat rooms, and rudimentary web browsing, often through free trial CDs that seemed to appear everywhere. This period of explosive growth, fueled by increasing public adoption and technological advancements, led directly into the phenomenon known as the dot-com bubble. From the mid-1990s to early 2000s, there was an almost irrational exuberance surrounding Internet-based companies. Investors poured billions into startups, often with little more than a catchy name and a vague business plan, valuing them on future potential rather than current profits. Iconic successes like Amazon and eBay emerged, but they were accompanied by spectacular failures such as Pets.com, which burned through millions before collapsing. The prevailing logic was, get big fast, leading to unsustainable spending and a focus on market share over profitability. The bubble inevitably burst between 2000 and 2001. The stock market crashed, wiping out billions in investments and leading to the closure of countless internet companies. While painful, this correction was a necessary cleansing. It forced the industry to mature, shifting focus from speculative ventures to viable business models and genuine user value. The companies that survived and ultimately thrived were those that offered real services, solved actual problems, and understood the importance of sustainable growth. The dot-com bust, though a cautionary tale, paved the way for a more robust and resilient internet economy, setting the stage for the next wave of innovation that would redefine connectivity once again. The dot-com bust, though a cautionary tale, paved the way for a more robust and resilient internet economy, setting the stage for the next wave of innovation that would redefine connectivity once again. This new era, often dubbed Web 2.0, marked a significant shift from passive consumption to active participation. Suddenly, the internet wasn't just a place to read information. It was a place to create and share it. Blogs emerged as personal publishing platforms, forums fostered niche communities, and user-generated content became the driving force behind countless websites. This democratization of information empowered individuals and reshaped the media landscape. This participatory ethos soon gave birth to social media platforms, fundamentally altering how we connect and communicate. Early pioneers like Friendster and MySpace laid the groundwork, allowing users to build profiles, share photos, and connect with friends online. Then came Facebook, which rapidly eclipsed its predecessors, becoming a global phenomenon. These platforms transformed communication, blurring the lines between personal and public life, creating new forms of community, and providing unprecedented avenues for personal expression. They didn't just connect people, they connected ideas, movements, and cultures, often with profound real-world consequences. Crucially, this explosion of social interaction coincided with another seismic shift: the mobile revolution. The introduction of smartphones put the internet, quite literally, into everyone's pocket. No longer tethered to desktops, users gained ubiquitous access, turning every moment into a potential online interaction. Mobile apps proliferated, transforming how we hail taxis, order food, manage finances, and consume entertainment. The always-on culture emerged, blurring the boundaries between work and leisure, and making instant gratification an expectation. This era also saw the nascent stages of the Internet of Things, where devices beyond traditional computers, from smart thermostats to wearable fitness trackers, began to connect and communicate, weaving a complex web of interconnected technology into our daily lives. As we look to the future, the Internet's evolution continues at an astonishing pace, promising even more profound transformations. Artificial intelligence is rapidly integrating into online experiences, personalizing content, powering search engines, and even generating creative works. Virtual reality and augmented reality hint at entirely new ways to interact with digital worlds, moving beyond flat screens into immersive, spatial computing environments. Imagine attending a virtual concert with friends from across the globe, or overlaying digital information onto your physical surroundings. Beyond these experiential shifts, foundational changes are also on the horizon. Blockchain technology and the concept of Web3 propose a more decentralized internet, promising new paradigms of ownership, data privacy, and digital identity. This vision aims to empower users by distributing control away from large corporations, fostering a more open and equitable digital landscape. However, with these advancements come significant ethical considerations. Concerns around privacy, data security, and the persistent digital divide, the gap between those with internet access and those without, remain critical challenges that society must address. The Internet's journey, from a rudimentary network designed for military resilience to the complex global nervous system we know today, is far from over. It is a testament to human ingenuity and our insatiable desire to connect, explore, and innovate. Each stage of its development has reshaped our world in unpredictable ways, and the future holds even more astonishing possibilities. The only certainty is that the Internet will continue to evolve, pushing the boundaries of what's possible and forever redefining the very fabric of human existence.